You're listening to the Unpenned Show with Paul and Andy, broadcasting live around the world. We believe freedom is free. It is enslavement that you're paying for. If you ain't mad by now, you're not paying attention.
Very good evening to everybody. My name is Paul, and I have with me sat in...
My name's Andy.
Every single Tuesday we broadcast live on Blog Talk, and tonight a simulcast with Awake Radio. So, good evening and welcome to everybody who's listening, whichever method you are listening to. I'll be live on the Awake Radio chat streams as well next week. I do have the chat box up, so we can interact at any time you feel comfortable too. Where do we start then? We've been to Bilderberg, went on Saturday.
Yes.
We went on Saturday. Let's do a quick 5 minutes because there's plenty up there about this,
yeah.
So we don't have to fill our time with what happened at Bilderberg.
No.
We actually don't really listen to anybody else. And that gets us into a bit of trouble every now and again, doesn't it? Because people say, didn't you know this and didn't you know that? Was it? No, we didn't know. No, we didn't know. Because we actually see the internet as a time-stealing machine.
It certainly is
a time machine, but it's a time-stealing machine. And that's where you occupy your time learning things that you didn't perhaps need to know. Mm-hmm. But you didn't know you didn't need to know them until you actually got to the end of finding out that you didn't need to know them. Mm-hmm. We actually get to be busy doing regular things in the reality place called life and living.
Yeah.
We don't live in the past, as many people do. And we can't guarantee to secure our future. But we jolly well keep busy trying to, don't we?
We certainly do.
We hold on to what we can see, what we can hear, what we can touch, what we can taste, and what we can smell. Everything else is under scrutiny, really, isn't it?
It is, that's it.
You know, the internet is virtually, it's a virtual land, a neverland, because you never actually get what you're looking for, because it's like a film that never ends. It never actually ends, does it? I mean, would we actually like a life where we actually put our feet up and live in the Garden of Eden? Well, we wouldn't last long as a species, would we? We wouldn't.
No.
Because we'd be we might as well be called pandas.
Yes.
We might as well be called pandas if that's the life we want.
We've likened ourselves to pandas.
And the word panda comes across in every little decode that you want to go with.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have a question. Which nasty soul made them black and white? Because that makes no sense, does it?
Not in a jungle.
Not in a jungle. No, it doesn't.
No.
But do we want the Garden of Eden life? Well, we pretend we do, but we've never had it, and we're not going to have it. And those that pretend we're going to have it in the future, pretending is what's got us in this mess. Mm. So I am not here to make enemies. But we don't necessarily fall over ourselves to make friends. Because the one thing we have learnt when we talk about time is valuable.
Blooming is.
Very, very valuable.
Yeah.
And you and I have experienced over the years people taking our time and adding no value to it.
No value whatsoever.
Because every conversation, whether you actually want to accept this or not, is a trade, isn't it? Mm. It's actually a trade. I trade with you, you trade with me. Mm. And the idea is that we exchange.
Yeah.
I add something to you. Ideally, you'll add something to me, so that's give and take away.
It is, yeah.
And that's called sharing.
Sharing, yeah.
And if we do that, then we'll actually multiply the known things. Mm-hmm. So it really is all maths at some point, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is sort of maths when you look at it in a common sense way of seeing things. Back to Bilderberg Saturday, we got there about 12 o'clock.
We did.
And we were a bit underwhelmed. That's the word we want, isn't it? Underwhelmed. Under-bloody-whelmed.
We were going to see and be surprised, weren't we?
We were surprised.
And we were surprised.
We were surprised.
Not in, let's say, in a good way.
In fact, let's do first impressions then. We got the car parked within about 400 yards where we needed to be.
We did.
We got across the road. We met the Licorice All Sort gang.
We did.
Okay, wearing various colours of lime and lemon. And blue as well. We had nice light blue.
Black, yeah.
They turned them into an all-sort Licorice All Sort gang,
they did. They had the fake ones had baseball caps on. They looked like McDonald's security.
And it was great in the queue, wasn't it? Because Sam Williams was at the... he was in, wasn't he,
Sam
Williams?
Yeah, he was.
And he was giving us a little bit of running commentary of what was going on. And I remember one of the best line of the day for me. If you don't know who S. Williams is, have a look up on YouTube. You'll find him. You'll find him. He's a funny guy. And we were stood in the queue thinking how long we're going to be stood, and I could hear him with his megaphone. Ladies and gentlemen, if you see a bunny rabbit, it could well be the leader of a secret underground gang. Please report its whereabouts and presence immediately to G4S.
G4, yeah.
As we say, G-Force.
G-Force.
G-Force, yeah. It's all bloody fairy tale comic stuff, isn't it? Mm. Anyway, we got to the first checkpoint.
Oh.
Okay, you had his life. Go on. He was well. The only exercise he did was not working out at the gym, wasn't it? No. All right, the exercise was walking up and downstairs and forgetting stuff. That was his exercise regime, as it is for most people.
Well, yeah.
Working out, actually, up and downstairs and forgetting things. That's the length of the exercise regime. What did you say to him? What did you say to him?
You're going to have to remind me, I can't remember.
What training have you had to do this?
Oh, that
yes.
was the
bad guy.
Oh, the bad guy. Yeah, the G-Force guy.
Not a bad lady, he was a bad guy.
Sorry, I thought you were about Sam Williams.
No. I'm on the bad guy. Who looked really embarrassed to be doing it, didn't he?
I love asking people this. Whenever I go to a sports function or anything like that, I'm going in and out.
Yeah, well, it's all right, just lay a bit forward.
Yeah, do the okey-dokey as well. Yeah, I asked the guy... What training have you gone through to get this job, and what are you trained to look for? And he said, I'm trained to look for sharps, scarves, masks, tins of beer, and bottles. I says, they had to train you to look for those things.
Yep.
And he said, yeah. I says, but they didn't train you you don't know what a bomb looks like then. So you wouldn't know if anybody's brought a bomb in.
He went red as a beetroot.
And he did. He went bright red.
As a bloody beetroot.
And the guy at the side of it, the guys with the wands behind were looking me up and down.
The magic wands. It was a farce, wasn't it? But we were in.
He did have a certificate though to say he'd done his training.
He had a well-fitted suit with a bit short trousers. The trousers just a little bit too short. Anyway, we got into the field, and immediately I felt. I thought I'm already in the future. Because there we were in the triangular
enclosure,
enclosure, and what was keeping us in was a few metal barriers and some red and white "Do not cross this line" tape, as everyone knows.
Yeah. And
we stood on our little grassy knoll, didn't we? And about half a mile away, we could see it.
We could.
The palace, the grove, the palace, and they were surrounded by not just any old metal fences.
No.
These were holding back tank-type fences, 10 to 12 foot high.
They were stuck in concrete blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking big concrete blocks.
We're talking substantial.
Well. Yeah.
And there it was, the vision of the future now. The serfs.
Yeah.
In the corner of the field, in their pen.
Yep.
And the royals and their minions. Loading it up in the castle.
Doing what they liked.
And we're paying for it all.
We were paying for every penny of it. And the licorice
all-sort coloured guard dogs all around us.
Yep.
And there we are. A vision of the future. Right now. Because it's here.
It is. It's
here. Whatever you're looking for, it's already here.
It is.
I think we've got... just, actually, the new listeners, I think we maybe mentioned that there is no real format to this show, is there?
No, there isn't.
There's about 3 or 4 sections, and we play a couple of tunes, and we say anything we want.
Yep.
Because we're going to exercise our freedom of speech to its very maximums. But we're not going to swear.
No, we don't. We try not to swear.
So we did hear the speakers, and the speakers were doing their jolly best, weren't they? And we got to speak to one or two: Dan Dix, Luke Radowski, Charlie Skelton. Who else did I get?
Ben the Truther.
Yeah.
Bob Truther. Yeah.
We put them all up on the YouTube channel just to sort of mark the day that we'd been. Alex was fantastic. David Icke was fantastic.
They both were.
Sometimes people ask us, what do we think about David Icke and Alex Jones? Do you know?
No.
No, me neither. No,
Don't know from Adam.
They never ask, what do you think about the message? Do they? They never do that, do they?
I went to listen to what he was saying, not...
It's always character assassination, isn't it? Every conversation involves us either worshipping, praising, or assassinating. Which is why we like films that do exactly the same thing,
do
isn't
all
it?
of those things.
Every bloody character gets assassinated except the hero. And the hero's always right, isn't he?
Yeah.
And that's the conversations that we have, actually. We don't care about Alex Jones and David Icke, who they are.
No.
But what they're doing is interesting.
And what they're saying.
And the message is becoming constant from them too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
David Icke's saying the same thing. Alex Jones is saying the same thing time and time again. Is Alex... I don't bloody know who Alex Jones is.
No.
But I listened to the message.
Yeah.
And it went down rather well, didn't it? All in all, it was quite a good day.
All in all, it was... Yeah,
it was quite a good day.
Quite a good day. The MP Meacher got us wound up, really.
But he did stand up in Parliament.
Apparently so,
He did, and then Ken Clarke giggled and laughed at him and tried to make him look stupid. Because apparently what the government does and what this policy lark is and what they would do, it's nothing to do with us. No, it's just an informal chat through like-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got 2 FA Cup final tickets for last year's final to sell you. Can you smell gas? Can you smell gas? Because I can smell something around here.
It's a funny
Bloody
smell,
Ken Clark.
Ken Clark, yeah.
I wouldn't trust him
And
with
his
a
secret courts.
I wouldn't bloody trust him with a bag of dolly mixtures.
No.
I wouldn't. He just is the epitome of somebody who I think would... I don't think he'd smell nice even if he had a shower.
No.
You know, I don't think he would. Do you remember that picture where he was at the cricket and he put his feet up and he had a hole in the soles of his shoe? Do you remember that? That
In
tells
his
you
hush puppies.
Yeah.
His brothel creep. Oh, well, I'm going to say brothel creepers, can't we? But yeah.
Say what you bloody want. Say what you bloody want.
But check Ben Fellows out. He did quite a good speech, and he mentioned a few names as well. He a very brave man.
Good to see Ben. Yeah,
good to see him,
Ben.
yeah.
He had a tear in his eye.
He did.
He actually had a tear in his eye
did.
when he made his speech, and it was to say thank you for everybody just for being there, for supporting him. He did have to disappear for a little while. He is now shouting very loud about what's happened to him. And Ben and Bill Maloney, we actually got to speak to Bill Maloney, and that interview's up on our YouTube channel as well. These people are very brave. They are very brave. I mean, they're shouting. Brave. I mean, they're now being told by the police that they can't touch these people. They can't touch these politicians.
That's the worrying thing.
And that's what the speech was. Bill Maloney said that. We've been told we can't touch them. These people are above the law. We always knew they were. But now the police tell us they are.
Yeah.
I spoke to a girl called Pippa today, and Pippa was there on Saturday. I couldn't believe it. How'd I miss her? Anyway, Pippa's my friend. She was there, and she said she'd been there Thursday, Friday and Saturday. And they had plenty of time on Thursday and Friday when it wasn't so busy to interact with the police. And she said it was very positive. A very positive reaction. Good, because we are really on the same side as the police. There was some idiots there who were trying to...
There were, yeah,
but that happens. That happens.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
Yes,
I mean, as it was, there was 2 or 3. We spotted them straight away. The crowd booed them down.
But the crowd responded quite well. They went up and hugged them, which I thought were quite funny.
I thought, they weren't expecting that, were they? They were actually boo, 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 and then someone said group hug, and they went and mobbed them. Which I thought was
that was nice.
A surprising result.
Anyway,
it worked for a while. Anyway,
did it work to treat that?
Anyway, all in all, a good day. About 1,500 inside the pen.
Yeah,
and we don't know how many outside. Approximately 1,000 or so.
No, they closed it off. We went out the car. Out of the area to go get some sandwiches.
You only just got back
in.
We
only just got back in.
Because the crowd did insist, let them in, and they let a few more in, didn't they?
But I had a chat with one of the police officers. I said, you're counting people in, but you're not counting people out. And I said, we've been in, and we've gone out. We've gone back to the car to get some things. So there aren't as many people in there as you're saying there's in there.
Yeah,
because they were saying there were numbers were too many.
Look, that's asking too much. You're asking too much there. You know that. Now, I don't want to be nasty to anybody, but we do say what we see, and if people can't cope with the truth, you're listening to the wrong show. All right, you are listening to it, because the one thing we do appreciate is we'll say what we see and hear, and we appreciate other people doing the same. Do we want anything for doing this? No. How long have we been sat on Tuesday nights trying to decode the world? 5 years plus now.
We have.
And we came off the internet a little while ago. We find it to be a distraction. It doesn't help. It doesn't help in your daily life in the way that you think it does. Once you've got the decode, and we decode Oceania, our speciality is words. We don't always do them. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. I'm sort of going through this because I know there's a few extra people listening. But we decode the words. And you can go on Google all day, you can read dictionaries all day, and the decode we have, we've not found anybody else who's got it. But we have found a few people who've nearly got it. And it is the Oceania decode. It is, the Orwell. In fact, I think Orwell's book is selling rather well. I think it's about 46% up on sales. That's not bad, is it?
That's not bad,
That's not bad, is it? So, that's an encouraging sign on the book front.
When we first printed in the 40s, 48, was
48,
it?
Yeah, 48 for sure.
He reversed it, didn't he?
So, anybody who wants to get us to, assassinate characters, we won't do that.
No, we don't do that.
I just noticed that, was Michael Meacher playing his part? Well, let's tell the truth. We thought he was, didn't we?
Yes.
We thought he was giving us the rhetoric.
It was
rhetoric.
Yeah.
It's been said a million times before, but he did stand up in Parliament. He did face Kenneth Clarke. Kenneth Clarke laughed at him. Yeah. Let's see what else Michael Meacher does.
Let's see.
He's been sat in the wrong gang for a long time.
He has.
If he wants to come and join our gang, He's going to have to pass his he's going to have to pass the entry exam.
He's going to go...
And that's bloody do something.
He's going to have to do his homework as well.
He's going to have to do something, because you can't be a member of both... You can't do both parties, can you?
No.
He's either with us, pretending to be with us...
Yeah. Or against us.
Or against us, like we always... We're right to be suspicious.
Yeah.
But we don't claim we know.
No.
We don't claim we know.
No.
The thing is that we watch, listen and learn.
Yeah, what I
and
think
that doesn't
is...
come through talking, does it?
No, he had his chance in Blair's Parliament. So, and
he's been around for a long time.
Just a Blair Brown noser, as far as I'm concerned.
He did look like a fella who was... I mean, what did we say? Do you think he's pissed off he hasn't got a ticket?
Well...
Do you think he's a bit peeved off?
We listened to his speech, didn't we? What he did sort of say...
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time he'd be in the Bilderberger meeting,
maybe next time.
Which I think was...
I didn't get an invite this time, but maybe next time.
Maybe next time, a little too
And there was one uncomfortable
me,
thing as well, was that the crowd that because we were sort of stood to the left-hand side of the majority in the centre of the field.
Yep.
And you and I were looking at each other, we were saying, these people are falling for this stuff.
They were clapping and cheering him.
Yeah, these people are falling for this stuff.
Yeah.
Just
the lies again.
Yeah, and he was saying things that can't be done.
Exactly.
You know, he was saying things that he can't do. Anyway, enough.
Enough of that.
Enough of the Bilderbergs. I have seen the rubbish on Facebook, Fightbook as we prefer to call it, that maybe they weren't even there. No, maybe you weren't even there. They were there.
Maybe.
They were there. Maybe you weren't there.
We saw enough cars going in and out.
In fact, they took
big nice cars.
They took the opportunity to whisk a lot of people out while Alex and David Icke were speaking. And only a very small percentage of people noticed the amount of traffic that was leaving while them two were on. And we were watched by helicopters all day, 2 or 3 helicopters. All day. In fact, I think the Bilderbergers were having trips up to see how many others there were.
Yes, I wonder if
I think
were.
they were having 3 helicopter flights to come and see who was there. Anyway, we do try and do the news, and we usually fail bloody miserably, don't we? I'm looking down here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got about 15 news stories. How many do you think we should go for? 3, 4? I mean, should we have a go at that?
Let's have a go, as many as we can. But we usually do, but we do the news stories loosely, don't we? We don't believe everything we read.
We don't believe any of it.
We don't know that. Well, there are some things that you can sort of...
But we don't say it's true.
No, we don't say it's true.
The trick with the news stories is... Why is? That's the word that we should start learning very clearly. Why is? Why are we being shown that? Because we don't really know about the news stories. So, we accept they may be true. Now, those news stories are created.
Yes.
Now... Look at the spelling created, because what we do is watch and see how everybody reacted, because it's the same spell but different. Created, reacted. Creation, reaction. So the news stories may or may not exist and be true, and I actually believe the majority are somewhere near. But it doesn't matter. I don't want to fight over that. We never have done. What do people do when... And the thing is, it's... The general public, it's like punching them on the nose end with every story, isn't it?
Yeah.
They look like they're broken. They're like a beaten fighter. They're sat down in the corner, not prepared to get up for the next bout. And we want to talk about.
Yeah.
They don't want to get up and be about.
No.
They're not going to try and do anything about it, because they're sat in the corner bloody knackered. Their seconds are over, because they're not going to be first. And seconds are watchers. That's why they're called watches.
Yep.
Yeah. We're getting into the decode a little bit, but I do know a few people are listening. Creating reality and understanding what reality is what we don't do. We don't get to be the makers of what happens next.
No.
We get to be the audience, the listeners, the viewers.
Yeah.
And the ones that are very keen sit on the very front row of the cinema, theatre, action centre. And they sit right at the front row and report immediately on current events.
Yeah.
They're just news reporters.
They are, yeah.
Just north, east, west, south reporters. Well, thanks for that. What else are you doing?
What else are you doing? Yeah, what else have you got?
Because I have found that...
what have you brought yourself? You've not plagiarised something else somebody else has said.
It's copy and paste.
Copy
all
and paste.
The way through. Education is copy and paste. The news is copy and paste. Your friends... Well, listen to your friends. It's so-and-so said, and do you know what he said? And I tell you what, I thought. It's all speaking retrospectively. It's all speaking in the past.
Yeah.
P-A-S-S-E-D, dead, gone, finished, can't be changed. Living in the past, what are you doing? If you're living in the past, you're not trying to create the future. You just watch, which is why the closest you can get to a watch is second.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it must be time for a beer, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so. We are in a war.
We are.
We've been in a war all our lives. They have propagandized our communications and intercepted our communications. They have contaminated our food and water. They have corrupted our judicial system and politicians. And now, the very forces that were designed to protect our freedoms and security of person have been privatised and turned against us.
They are that.
And quietly we sit, don't we? Quietly we sit, pretending it's not happening.
Yeah. Scary, isn't it?
It's becoming a very uncomfortable place to live, this, isn't it?
It is.
Now, we've got our first article of the evening, Mr. Littlejohn.
Yeah.
I don't like Richard Littlejohn. I don't think I like him at all. I don't think I would like spending time with him because he writes in a way that is contrary. He tells us, openly tells us.
He does. He says in the Mail Online, if we have nothing to hide, why should we have to prove it? And that's in reaction to William Hague has come out on this snooping, the GCHQ that are snooping on us. And they're admitting it now that they are openly doing it to protect us. It is for our own protection. And if I can just read a little bit off this, whenever I hear those words, I am engulfed by a profound sense of unease. If we have nothing to hide, then why should we have to prove it? The Foreign Secretary William Hague was quick to reassure us that we have nothing to fear after reports that GCHQ has been operating a covert snoopers charter. It is claimed that the British security services are using a secret American computer surveillance program.
Prism.
Not by
Prism,
is it owned by Lockheed?
Yeah, Prism, isn't it?
And called Prism. Yeah, to spy on our emails and other online activity. We did know they were doing this, but they're coming out openly.
This is the revelation now, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is now Littlejohn. Actually, I've read the whole article, and it's frustrating as usual from Littlejohn, because he openly says that we accept that there is, some declared need for this to happen, but all of us, all of us, really, all of us, because they're going to retrospectively be able to look back at everything we've done. Now, we already know this, which is why we don't spend a lot of time on Fightbook or anything like that, because we're already giving away so much of ourselves.
Yeah.
At the moment, Don't Be Evil is actually Go Ogle is having fun with us, because we know it's listening to everything we're doing. Not just your TV, not just your bloody computer. They're openly saying that we can remotely switch off fridges and freezers and washing machines.
With a smart meter,
we can listen to you through your appliance. I mean, they're starting to reveal all this now.
Yeah.
If we'd have said this 2 or 3 years ago, we'd have got laughed at.
Would have laughed
but
at us,
now the European Union is starting to say, yes, we can remotely turn off your fridges and freezers in the event of the power being needed elsewhere. Slowly but surely. It comes out, doesn't it? But Go Ogle is pretending to be our friends, isn't it?
It is.
It's like having a friend who says, "Oh, I do like you," and then they buy the same jeans, and then they buy the same shoes, and then they start using your terminology.
Yeah.
And you think, "Good God, this person is starting to take me on."
Yeah.
And they're pretending to be my friend.
And then they start hitting on your girlfriend.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Go Ogle is doing that.
Yeah.
You and I have tested this many times, haven't we?
Yeah.
We actually speak about something, then go onto YouTube. We only do it Tuesday nights mostly. And there it is. There it is. The things we've been talking about. I can go back 2.5 years ago when I was sat one Sunday afternoon listening to some talk or other, and my fire alarm wanted the battery changing. And I thought, and it was the one above the stairs. Really, what a stupid place to put it that was, and it was me who said put it there. It's a real chew. You have to actually anyway. And I thought, I'm not changing that. Blast it, or something similar. Beep. And I thought, it's going to annoy me all day. I'm going to have to do it. I'll do it in a minute. Anyway, this talk finished, and I refreshed YouTube and was doing something else, and at the top of the YouTube featured video, how to change a battery in a fire alarm. Right, and this was 2.5, 3, and I laughed and laughed and laughed, and we've had occasion after occasion after, and this, it's trying to be our friend, isn't it? It's trying to learn who we are, and what we're going to be interested in. Have a look at this. Now, I can help you with that. Now, if you wanted to do this, perhaps I can help. Well, so-and-so likes doing that. Eventually, we're going to be... Well, we've lost the ability to think. That was a long time ago. Because when people say, I think, I say, hang on a second. This think word, I think it's a bit overused myself. And they say, but you've just used it yourself. Yeah, I did it on purpose to see if you were paying attention. But, to think. Can you think something that nobody else has ever told you? Now, that usually causes quite a pause in the proceedings.
Gets you thinking.
But it usually causes quite a pause in the proceedings, because you think, now, there's a question I should be able to answer, but it's been presented in a way that I can't quite decide what I should say here. Because the answer that comes to mind immediately is, probably not. Probably not. So, should we replace the word think with remember?
Remember, yeah.
Because it's just getting it from your hard drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just searching your hard drive, picking up the response that you think is appropriate, whether it's yours or somebody else's, and most of the time it's somebody else's, but you claim it's your own. I think. When all you're doing is repeating something that you saw last night on ITV News.
Yeah, it should be I remember.
Well, yeah.
Shouldn't it, really?
Well, so all we're doing is copying into existence what creation has given us to copy into existence. Remember, we used to have rehear sing. Remember rehear sing? Remember that was a few years ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The copy and paste, the parrot fashion thing has come along quite well. But rehear sing,
yeah.
Well, I guess it is just a rehearsal then.
Yeah.
Because you're never the show. You're always the after show. You're always the impressionist, because it's made an impression on you. So the impression that it makes is the one that you actually give back. Whatever you watch, if you mimic it, that's the impression it's made. Whether you mimic it in a way of wearing the clothes, saying the one-liners, buying the trainers, or investing in whatever it is that they've asked you to invest in, even if it's just next week's show, to see what happens. But it's not you.
No.
It's somebody making you. Think you're you. You call yourself an individual, but the word clearly states dividual. Well, that's divided into two. Now, we've done this many times before, and that's the persona, isn't it?
Yeah.
The word persona, everybody, if we went back 150 years, the word persona would be obvious, wouldn't it? People would know persona was the stage, the mask, the alter ego, the character you were about to play.
Yep.
But then, in the 1940s, 50s, 60s, we got the word personality.
Yeah.
And persona disappeared. Now, if you look up the word persona, you'll find persona is attached to the word vehicle in Latin, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And the persona was the vehicle that they used to get us to where we are today. Through the word personality. Because we used to call celebrities personalities.
Yeah.
So now it gave them a real identity as opposed to a stage name. Because they were using their proper name. Now, they're in the films all the time playing all sorts of characters. But the personality was their real name. And then we dropped personality and gave it the person. And all of a sudden, by sheer magic, now it was you. Now it became you. Smart, wasn't it?
Yeah. Very clever.
And that was the vehicle they used. The persona was the vehicle they used because... Remember where I started? Would we like a life in the Garden of Eden? Well, we'd end up like pandas. Not even... We couldn't be bothered to bloody reproduce. We can't even be bothered to bloody feed ourselves. We just want to eat caviar all day and lay in the sun. And eventually we'll know nothing else. I don't think that would bode well for humanity myself.
No, definitely not.
Now, what happens if we live in a life of balance, where we recognise all the good things that are good, but more so we recognise the evil and keep the evil away. We push the evil down. we don't let the evil come into our lives, because we recognise evil as people who are corrupt and deceptive and lie and cheat and steal, and we try and keep those away from us, and the good people all recognise each other, and the evil can't get in. They can't get into society in a way that they can control it. But eventually evil does think of a way, and it's usually through temptation.
Temptation, yeah.
And as we strive to make our lives easier, we become lazier.
Mm-hmm.
Admit it to yourself, or just look in the mirror and tell lies all day.
Yeah, yeah.
But we become lazier.
We have become.
We become decadent.
I'm guilty of it.
I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
And we actually expect our lives to be easier. We want more for less.
We do.
And about 100 years. And about 100 years ago, in stepped the advertisers.
Yeah.
And said, "We have the very things for you." And here we are today. And I don't think anybody can really argue that evil is here. It exists, and in a predatory money system that we live in, it's hard to get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are at the point now where many people will say, look, if another has to suffer because I have succeeded,
yeah,
then that is the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unfortunately, it's quite correct. That is the way things are working out.
Yeah, we've gone from saying getting the things we need, and we've now changed our words to saying the things that we want.
Yes, that's right. We've forgotten
wants and
we've
needs.
Forgotten values.
Yes,
we've forgotten
have.
values. We've forgotten the value of friends, of family, of time, of peace, of solitude, and most of all, knowledge.
Yeah,
we've exchanged what we needed for what we wanted, and the first thing we threw away was knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah. Just a little quote from Jimi Hendrix. He said, "Knowledge speaks, but wisdom listens."
How many times have we said that? An open mind never comes with a shut gob, does it?
You don't know.
How many times have we said that? If only they would. This is the life, this is where we are, and to sit here in a little room in North Yorkshire and pretend that we can change on the bigger stage is just silly.
Yeah,
it's just silly. Now, what we have managed to do, we've managed to calm down, haven't we?
Yeah.
Our revolution, our falling out and attacking everybody, shouting and bawling out, it's over.
It is.
Thank God it's over.
We've come to terms with it.
We've actually come to get to the point of this is what people choose to do.
Mm.
So in many ways, it's almost an encouragement for them to, well, go on then. Go on, keep doing it, see how that works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, this welfare bloody state has allowed us to breed 60 to 70 years of stupid people.
It is, and it's a contradiction in terms, isn't it, the welfare state? None of us are well, and none of it's fair.
It's not fair.
No.
This is not a fairground attraction. Well, it's a rigged fairground attraction.
It is, yeah.
But since the welfare state was introduced and started paying people to have children, I know it's not much, and you say it's not enough, but we never paid people to have children before. Okay, but now we do. Mm. And slowly the benefit system has been engineered that single mums are better off as single mums.
Yeah.
The benefit system does reward them for keeping the guy out the house. Mm-hmm. And anybody who's involved in the benefit system will know that is correct. A single mum is better off than being with a poorly paid partner.
I was chatting to my mum a few weeks ago, and I found out that I never knew my great-grandma on my mum's side, but apparently she had 17 children, but only 8 of them survived. But that was before, and I was saying to my mum, I said, I can't believe that. That's before you got child benefit and all those kind of things. I said, where did they all sleep? She says, I don't know. They only had a little one up, one down house.
I've been to Beamish and I've seen how they used to kit it out. I've been to Beamish Museum and they built some cottages, and they used to have the main sleeping room was the living room.
Yeah.
And then there was beds everywhere. Mm. There was beds like hammocks hung up everywhere. And you go in these little, sort of 2 up, 2 downs.
Yeah.
And there's 11, 12 people in there.
It just got me thinking, that was all, and remembering.
Recalling.
Yes, recalling what people had said to me.
The terminology,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Because what's a thought?
Yes.
You see, something that's independent could be described as a thought. And that's where you've managed to actually connect two dots that were not previously connected by anybody else you've spoken to or listened to. You've said this and this instance, circumstance happening could be connected. At that point, I think you can call it a thought. Your own independent thought. This and this may be connected. Now you're starting.
Yeah.
But if all you're trying to do is remember somebody else's information, which is actually just to arrange in predetermined order, but if you're trying to remember somebody else's information, you can never do it because you're trying to remember their words. But you can't remember their words because they're not yours.
No.
You can only remember your own words. And the truth is so much easier when you've got it in your own head, as opposed to trying to repeat somebody else's that you've not researched, that you don't know for sure. You just like the sound of them. It's such a minefield, the internet, isn't it? It is a bloody minefield. I mean, the best we can hope to achieve on a Tuesday evening here is through the words that we play with, and the analogies and allegories and the way we try and describe things, is that somebody gets a piece of the jigsaw they can use. Yeah. Because this is a bloody great big jigsaw. And when you're little, you've got a 5-piece jigsaw, 2 or 3 years old. And when you're 4 or 5 years old, it's a 15 or 20-piece jigsaw. And so the numbers increase as your age increases. But it doesn't stop increasing, this jigsaw, does it? You never get it finished.
No, you can't.
You never get it finished. And we've made mistakes over the years of trying to make Put
your teeth in.
Yeah, we're trying to make bits fit where they don't belong.
Yeah.
But you wanted them to belong there.
You did.
Because you thought, that must go in there. Yeah. So you make it
it's got
fit.
A bit of blue sky on it. It goes there.
You make it bloody fit, don't you? And it's only a week or 2 or 3 or 4 off, sometimes too far longer, when you think that didn't fit in.
No, it was in the sea bit.
I told everybody that bit fitted there.
Yeah.
What a bloody plank, it don't fit there at all.
No.
But my education came along a lot better when I dropped the internet and started reading books. But we did do a good 2 years on the internet.
Yeah, you've got to go through
it's an apprenticeship.
It
is an apprenticeship for sure. And everybody talks about, we're actually... Are we still at the Are we at the stage now that they were in Germany? You know, I've got an article in my hand here, and it's called "They Thought They Were Free." Well, look around. There are an awful lot of people in this country that claim we're free.
We believe we're free.
The CCTV cameras don't appear to have any impact on them at all. No. The fact that you and I got laughed at 3 years ago when we said, these street lights...
Yeah.
They may not be doing it now, but they have the capability of movement sensors, cameras, and we suspect microphones.
Yeah, listening and transmitting.
Do you remember how much we got laughed at? In the early days where we thought, people need to know. People need to know this stuff.
They need to know about this stuff, yeah.
Didn't go well, did it?
No, we've realised they've got to find it themselves, haven't they? You can't lead somebody down this journey.
You can't.
They've got to do their own work and do their own homework.
And there it is. That's the word, isn't it? Homework.
And you've always said it's discernment.
Well, you basically got to take as much as you can and file it. And if you can't find where to file something, stick it in a box.
Yeah.
Because you're probably going to...
With a label on it.
How many times in your real life do you actually say, I'm not going to need that anymore? 7 days later. I can't believe I threw that out.
Where have I heard that before?
Exactly.
So-and-so.
It is. It's a filing system in your head. That's what we need to learn. And you do file everything. Accept everything is given to you for free. And then start to put values on it.
Yeah.
Start to value what you've been given. And file it. They Thought They Were Free by Milton Mayor. I'm not going to read all this, but I am going to link it below the YouTube video that this show is going to be edited onto for tomorrow. So I will link up all the stories we talk about. But what no one seemed to notice, said a colleague of mine, a philologist, I don't know what that is, was the ever-widening gap after 1933 between the government and the people. Just think how very wide this gap was to begin with here in Germany, and it became always wider. You know, it doesn't make people close to their government. It doesn't make people close to their government to be told that this is a people's government, a true democracy, or to be enrolled in a civilian defence, or even to vote. All this has really nothing to do with knowing one is being governed. You know, diversion. It's diversion, diversion, diversion.
Yeah.
This is a fairground on a pier, and we're getting deeper in, but the distractions fool us that the fact we're getting deeper in.
It's a fairground distraction, not
It
an
is a
attraction.
fairground distraction.
Yeah.
And we're wandering down the pier, getting deeper and deeper in, buying tickets.
Yeah.
Because every time we go on this, we have to ticket to get into something new. Tick here, or join a little clique to get in. And it's all a special little show. And this pier is taking us right into dangerous waters.
Yeah.
We use the word bailout, don't we? Well, I don't, but they do.
They do, yeah.
They're bailing out.
Yeah.
Because when you bail something out, what do?
Yeah, yeah.
Chuck it bloody overboard, don't you?
Overboard, yeah.
I think you might realise that's us soon. This, They Thought They Were Free by Milton Mayor is definitely worth a little look. Definitely does, it rings a lot of bells, emergency bells, alarm bells. You know? The word emerge and see. You see, we speak into reality a different language. We speak to each other and we understand this decode at this level. But the next level up, they understand it much better than we do. When I say emergency, you think 999, but you don't. You hear emerge and see how much bloody trouble you're in. We've been in trouble for a long time. If you want to define a war, we're in it, aren't we?
We are, yes.
We live in wards. We get paid in bloody wages.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
You start connecting the dots, everybody.
Wages of war, yeah.
You know, I mean, the word salary, now it's turned to salary, hasn't it?
It has.
But salary is just another decode of the word calorie, which is energy. And calorie, which is energy, which is salt. And salt is sale. And everything's for bloody sale.
It is.
You know, we don't understand these decodes because no one's put it together for us like this. We've been on YouTube, we've been on the internet. I don't find anybody who's doing this decode like we are.
No.
And it makes perfect bloody sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, and we were saying, trying to get you to buy things, that's all sales and marketing.
Of course it is.
And it's your sale.
Because you've got to stall.
You put up your sale your ship with all your goods on to where you're taking it.
Yeah.
And then you market.
And then you're selling to a stall.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, you stall, you could do a dead stop.
The dead stop,
You
yeah.
know, oh, I must buy something while I'm
stalled.
here. That's right, I must buy something.
Yeah.
And we've got disgusted.
Yeah.
You know, the word disgusted, which means you go nowhere.
No.
You're not happy at all, because you disgusted. And we've got the word wind and wind.
Yeah.
Nobody figures out one out. No. We bloody ship everything, don't we?
We do, yeah.
We're on the internet playing on bloody line, surfing.
Yeah.
And we go to keys and board to get on, don't we?
Yeah.
No one gets it, do they? Nobody understands. As you put your key in the lock at home, or your key in the lock of your car, which is called your vehicle, which is your persona, which is the Latin translations to connect, no one gets it, do they?
No, the word bell, we've done that before. That means war.
It was by bell is to war, but that's just one. When we do these words,
yes,
this is the decode of Oceania.
Yes,
and the fairy tale connections. Now you'll hear people describing the words in other ways, right? Yeah. Biblios and that sort of thing, and religare and that sort of thing. You know, and they're right too.
Of course they are.
They're right. These decodes are correct for the people at the level that they're viewing the show.
Yeah.
It's correct for the level of the viewer.
It is, whether you're in the stalls, the upper gallery, in the
grand circle,
or
your own bloody box. You've actually bought your own viewing box.
And you've booked a ticket.
You booked a ticket and joined your clicks. Click, 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 clickety, click.
You're a bug! A crawling insect. An ugly, misformed little creature who has no purpose here, no meaning.
I am a human being.
You're a librarian, Mr. Wordsworth. You're a dealer in books and 2-cent fines and pamphlets and closed stacks on the musty insides of a language factory that spews out meaningless words on an assembly line. Words, Mr. Wordsworth, that have no substance and no dimension, like air, like the wind, like a vacuum that you make believe has an existence by scribbling index numbers on little cards.
I don't care. I tell you, I don't care. I'm a human being. I exist. And if I speak one thought aloud, that thought lives, even after I'm shoveled into my grave.
Delusions, Mr. Wordsworth. Delusions that you inject into your veins with printer's ink. The narcotics that you call literature. The Bible, poetry, essays of all kind, all of it an opiate to make you think you have a strength when you have no strength at all. You have nothing but spindly limbs and a dream. and the state has no use for your kind.
Rather sobering clip, that, isn't it, from the Twilight Zone from years ago? A very sobering clip, because it is possible that that's exactly how we're seen.
It is seen.
We can read and talk all we like. It's what we do that matters.
Yeah.
And these people are ready for a physical war. They're okay with aggression. They have everything they need to cope with the aggression. We have nothing. Can't even carry a bloody penknife. I think you'd even get in trouble if you caught a bloody screwdriver in your pocket, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, how much further, people, do we have to go? Well, it would appear an awful lot further. I mean, they've got the guns and they made the rules. But they don't have the numbers. And they don't have the version of the truth that we know appears to make more sense than the one they try and sell us every day.
Yeah.
Because they are salt sellers. They bloody are salt sellers. They're gypsies. They're gypsies, tramps and thieves. They are, and we know they are. And they know they are. But they're born and bred to be it.
Yes, they are.
They're little boys. These people are little boys that are compromised a long time after the university showers. You know, they've already found out where they belong in the company in the university showers.
In the seat warming.
Yeah, they've found out their position, their place.
Order. Yeah.
You know, we don't actually look into it close enough to see that they always surround themselves with their friends, and the advisors hardly ever change. The advisors are always the advisors because they're the spin doctors to spin our language so we don't understand it. It's called a word, which is the past tense of to were, isn't it? Obsolete. Well, that's what we're making ourselves.
We are.
There's no doubt about it. We're busy building the future that doesn't include us at all.
Yeah, you think...
And that's the future that we're actually... We seem to be quite happily doing it, don't we? From the supermarket to the bloody petrol station, we're busy making ourselves obsolete. Well, and we can't work out where all the jobs have gone when everything's got made in China stamped on the back. The kids think that if you can't do it on a smartphone, it's not worth doing. Is that the difference? I think for some adults that I see, an adult is just a shortened word of adulterated, adultery. All right, I think adults, and I use the word very loosely because age is no indication of intelligence or education. No. I wonder if they'll actually manage to get their head out of the phone before the kids are picking the bloody nursing home for them. I do wonder, because it's getting serious, isn't it? It is getting serious. I mean, rather silly. You only have to look through history. I mean, 1841, 20% of this population were farmers. Yeah. You know, there were farmers, weren't there? And the service industry was hardly heard of. We've got some facts and figures, actually, which we can share with people, because we have. It sounds like we're resistant to change, and we're not, are we? No, no. We're not. You know, I mean, the future isn't for us now, because we're getting towards the big 5-0. Yeah. It's not for us at all. We're the dinosaurs. We can pretend the future's for us. But look at how this programme's working out. The UK, the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Those are the main places that are getting this programme in its full entity. Yep. We're done. We are the dinosaurs that this time are going to exit the stage. Exit stage left, as it were. The future is the kids. It is. All right, and I employ... I've got a fish and chip shop in North Yorkshire. I've been employing kids of 14, 15 sort of years old for a long, long time. 20-odd years. And I can see the difference. The aggression's gone. But with the aggression has also gone an awful lot of common sense. To teach the kids what I need them to do, it used to take 2 weeks maximum. Now it takes 3 months. We're not adapting to these changes very well, because the fish and chip shop hasn't changed. It's not technologically a challenge to them kids. It's actually physically using your hands. Yeah. Well, if it isn't to text, they don't really know what their hands are for. No. You know, let's look at the figures from how we've changed over the years, because I find this a little bit interesting. It's one for the file for me, this one. Yeah, it's how Britain went from making things to sitting at a desk. Census reveals huge drop in people working in factories and farms. Social and economic change laid bare by Office for National Statistics. Fewer than 1 in 100 now work in agriculture, down from 1 in 5 in 1841. Just 8.9% work in manufacturing compared to 80% in service industries. Look at that, Look at that difference. Let's get the graphs out. There's graphs on the back there. Just keep going.
Go in there. 170 years of industrial change across England and Wales. Percentage of workforce in each industry.
But it's been bloody sold, hasn't it?
It has.
It's not that we don't bloody need this stuff. We need boats and we need steel and we need cars and we need railways.
But it's just gone east.
Yeah, because the empire's moving house.
It is.
And it takes everything of value with it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the scary bit. It's got us, right, accepting the bailouts. In other words, we allow the government to give the money to the banks, a paper change. That's all it is.
Yeah.
A paper exchange, right? The banks keep the money, hand it out to their foreign investors who come and buy everything we've got left, and we have to pay the bloody stuff back.
We do, yeah.
What a genius system for idiots this is. How?
How have we fallen for it?
I don't know.
I know I don't either.
I don't know.
It's well, partly I do. Is they sold us the shares thing, didn't they? They said you could have a share in it. You can have shares in BT, in British Gas, blah blah blah. And
we had to bloody buy them.
Yeah, we still had to buy them.
We had to buy something we owned.
But they worked on our greed side, didn't they? And working. They said we could profit from these things. You know, it'd do us all good. But
30, 40 years ago, right? 30, 40 years ago, I remember it well, unfortunately. Right? When prices were going up faster than our wages, we knew rich people were making us poor.
Yeah.
We knew.
That was 70s, wasn't it?
That's right, well, in the 80s. Because we'd already worked out that these companies who were putting their prices up higher than our wages, well, we were the customers.
Yeah.
But we did the work as well. We actually provided the service that allowed them to charge the fee. But then we had to pay for the product as well.
Yeah.
So if it went up 3, 4, 5%, and your wages went up 1.5, we actually had the ability to realise that they were making 3.5% more profit because we let them. They don't have a business without us.
They don't, no.
I mean, we don't actually need them, but they need us.
They do, yeah.
Because we are their bread. We are their bread, and they need us.
Yeah.
In this mass age.
Yeah.
They mass age us because they need us to provide their daily bread.
Yeah.
Give us this day our daily bread. We'll get your ass up and go to work.
No. And it has gradually, like you're saying, it has gradually been taken away from us. Manufacturing gone from 36% down to 9%. This is from 1841 to 2011. Manufacturing, as I said, 36% in 1841, down to 9% today. 33% was in service industries. It's now 81%. 22% agriculture and fishing, now 1%.
These are what's been destroyed because we still need agriculture. We still need fish. Now, we know modernisation. I mean, we've spoke about this before. I mean, they're telling us now that we're going to have to eat less meat and we're not
exactly, but that links into them telling us that there's going to be food shortages and things like that. How many... just driving down to the Bilderberger, how many fields did we see? We drove past field after field after field, and they were empty.
I know.
Empty fields.
But the sixth sense is common sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
And everybody's got an instinct that it might be something. I do feel I've got a sixth sense, but I can't work out what it is. You dozy git. It's common sense. It's common sense. It's been able to actually separate reality from bloody fiction.
Yeah.
I mean, fact and fiction goes together like faction. And we are, aren't we? We are getting to the point now where we're arguing about what's real and what isn't. Yeah. Having no actual tools to use other than the very internet.
The very internet. And that links into what we were saying earlier about we've gone from being creators to reactors.
We're just little nuclear reactors.
And that's all we react to. The diddly-doo on your phone when you've got a text. Diddly-doo when it's, somebody's messaged me on Facebook.
But we've got an entire generation, the second one now. Because the 80s we had problems. I mean, we're breeding stupid people.
Yeah.
Right, the welfare state is allowing people who don't work to have children. Now, this is where sometimes we lose a subscriber or two, isn't it? Well, bloody tough.
Tough, yeah.
All right. If you think you can have children and make me pay for them, then that would appear to be the state of affairs. But don't make me say thank you for doing it unless you bring up
Yeah.
right a productive member of society.
I've got 2 kids of my own, brought them up. Yeah.
Yeah. But if they bring up a productive member of society, a mother can be proud of herself.
Yeah.
Right now, I've watched Skint on Channel 4.
Yes, I have as
Right.
well.
Now I've only watched one episode, and I thought it was perhaps not actually accurate. Apparently, it's bloody spot on.
It is, yeah.
I remember years ago watching Shameless, thinking it can't be that bad. I've changed my mind.
Yeah. There was
changed my mind.
the guy on there worked in the steel industry. Were earning £1,400 a week, and when the steel industry went, obviously his job went with it. And we know where the steel industry went, don't we? So, as we were saying, it moved east. But now he feels that he because he worked, he could sit on the benefit system because he'd paid into it, which I suppose we all have the right to think that.
But that's not the way the benefit system has ever worked, actually.
No.
It's not actually, because you're actually paying for those that are actually using it ahead of you.
Well,
You're paying it forward.
yeah,
And you're hoping that those behind you will pay in, so should you need it.
yeah. That's how it was meant to be set up, wasn't
that's
it?
how it was set up.
That was set up, of course.
It
yeah.
was set up.
That the people that were working were paying for those that were retiring.
But let's have a look at the wages from 2007 to 2012. Let's have a look at how much the country actually earned. And we have, it's a straightforward figure here. Workers earned... Oh, I'm going to have to get smaller.
Shall I read it?
Because I can't read it.
You need some smaller eyes and bigger glasses.
You're
on.
absolutely right, I do.
Workers earned 52 billion less last year than they did in 12 months before the crash.
That's 2007.
2007
so
was the crash.
5 years later.
5 years later,
Right,
yeah.
there's 52 billion quid less in the economy.
Yeah.
So wages have gone down.
Yeah, where's it gone?
The labour demand has gone down 52 billion quid. Now, if you look at the figures of people who are employed at that time, you'll find that the amount of people employed is around about 29 to 30 million people. That figure, it moves around a little bit. It doesn't move around a lot. What it really is showing is that wages haven't gone up.
No.
Right, wages haven't gone up at all. In real terms, we're a lot worse off now than we were 5-6 years ago.
Inflation has
And part-time
taken
workers...
over.
I mean, anybody who says that the immigrants have been brought into low wages are partly correct. They are partly correct because they will work for less than we will.
Yeah.
They will, and, the Jeremy Kyle guest list confirms that. It does. I can't watch Jeremy Kyle. Those people are broken. All slaves have to be broken. They are bloody broken people. Badly broken. But, yeah, £52 billion a year is been removed from the economy via wages. Well, how many years do you think before we realise that we're now the slave economy? Because we've got grown men working for £6 something an hour.
Yeah.
Now, that is not enough to take home
No.
to a family. If you're married with just one little one, you cannot bring up a family on that.
No.
So
can't.
you find that the big businesses, the supermarkets, particularly the supermarkets, are trying to get away with paying these wages through subcontracted staff.
Yeah.
Well, what's really happening is that the supermarkets are getting the taxpayer to subsidise a grown man's wages. Because they're getting away with paying him £6.5, and the benefit system is having to top it up
Yeah.
so he can feed and clothe and heat and his family. So what's really happening is the supermarkets are actually making the taxpayer
Yeah.
top his wages up because they don't want to. Well, we're going to see that more and more, aren't we?
Whilst making record profits.
But we're going to see that more and more and more.
We are, yeah. And if you can't work those two out, then you are definitely lost. That they can. That's the reason they're making record profits.
It is absolutely head-bangingly annoying, isn't it? When
It
you
is.
actually try to say to people, look, it does work like this.
Yeah.
It really does. They don't print the interest.
No.
It is a money system that's designed to bankrupt us all,
Yeah.
bit by bit. And you can see people's eyes going, I would have known if that was true. I would have known.
And these people that are believing that this austerity thing is real, think again. The National Grid in 2011 bearing in mind we're in 2013 and nearly just halfway through, they made £27 billion profit. In £27 billion profit in 2011, and you think about your electric bill, how much it's gone up over that time with inflation, with them hiking it up. There's no austerity. It's a load of bunkum. It's just another way of getting some more money out of us, as if they hadn't had enough out of us.
Do you think when it gets to 100% we'll work it out? How much closer to 100% do they have to get before we work out that we're actually slaves? Because this system prides itself on efficiency, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And without a basic understanding of the money system, which now costs nothing to run, it only costs us. It costs us our hopes and dreams. It costs our children their futures and ambitions. And it costs their grandchildren the fact that they're probably never going to be born.
Yeah.
Because they won't be able to afford to have them. Regardless of that, because that appears to be not very important to people when you try and say, look, this money system, it is just here to control us.
It is.
They can generate it out of fresh air. Now, I hear too many times, it's going to collapse. It's going to end. This parasitic system will end when we've got no money left. Right, when there's actually no money left. Because the working class and working poor and that, they're done. Right, they're done. They're living on week to week. It's moving up the scale now.
Yeah.
Now it's taking out the middle class. Will the middle class talk to us when it's happened to them?
No, they
won't. They're too proud, aren't they?
Yeah, and
they're too proud. They'll actually lose their houses, lose the BMWs, cash the pension pot in, cash the insurance in, and gamble.
Yeah.
Before they'll admit that they've been duped.
Yeah,
it's actually easier to fool people than convince them they've been bloody fooled.
It is. I was chatting to we have some people, friends in France, and they come over here to do various bits and pieces with his business. But and he has a business in France, and I was chatting to him a few weeks ago about the austerity that's coming into France. And all these tax hikes that are coming in. And I just said to him, I said, do you remember when we were invading Libya and we were taking over Libya? Sarkozy was involved, Cameron was involved. We went there, obliterated the place. I said, do you know
that's a no-fly zone.
It was, they introduced no-fly zone. And he was just saying his business is struggling, blah, 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 all this, that and the other. And they wanted more tax off him. And they have a different tax system in France. You have to forecast your tax for the year, for the next year.
Well, we have that sort of.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
Sort of.
That's
Yeah,
sort of. Yeah.
But and anyway, he was struggling to do that. But he's looking to re-educate himself. He's going to go on training courses, blah blah, and change his business. He wants to go be a project manager.
We have to accept that we can't stop this change, but we can try and steer it.
Yeah, and then he got really annoyed with me because I said, "Do you know how much it cost the government to actually fire a missile from a plane onto Libya?"
You want to be popular.
And he said no. I said, well, they have a figure, and it's around about £1 million.
Yep.
£1 million to make the bomb, make the plane, train the pilot, all the whistles and bells that go with it.
I know about £1 million. It may be a bit more than that.
But £1 million per missile. And how many did they fire on Libya?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
And that's just one Arab Spring.
And usually that causes a bit of a pause in proceedings, doesn't it?
It did, yeah.
Now it's got these call centres, but the idiot on the other end of the line's got a script to go by and he can't come off the script. Fuck no. You ring them up and you go, I'd like to open an account on the internet. And they go, oh, can I have your account number, please? Well, no, I ain't got one yet because I'm not on the internet, am I? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Can I have your account number, please? And they have a script to go by, but they wouldn't like it if we had a script and we stuck to our script. They wouldn't like that very much. You know, you get BT call you up to remind you to pay your bill, and they go, can I speak to the account holder, please? And we go, I am MrPaulVickers. No, the account holder, please. No, I am MrPaulVickers.
The fantastic Mr. Lee Evans. He does make us smile, and that's your favourite little clip, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I mean, you've been walking about doing that for ages, haven't you? Years. How to deal with people on the phone. Should we have fun with that next week?
Yeah, I think so.
Shall we do some of the stuff we get up to on the phone next week?
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure. I haven't even done the date. I've been that excited, haven't I?
Oh, no, that's right.
Tuesday, the 11th of June 2013.
It is.
We've been live on Blog Talk. This will be actually on YouTube tomorrow, the edit. All the music will be gone because only YouTube's allowed to play the music, apparently. So there we are. But the little clips will be as well. And it's our first outing, our maiden voyage, really, on Awake Radio. We did a re-recording one. We got a podcast type thing was played last week. And, you know... Awake Radio, new to me. Yeah, I've been aware of them for a while, but we don't actually go on the internet very much, do we?
No.
But if anybody has, halfway enjoyed us gabbling on, two thick Yorkshire guys doing what they can.
Yeah.
I mean, we got two choices. We can either sit in the front room there,
yeah,
having a beer chatting, or we can sit in this little back room here,
yeah,
having a beer chatting.
And share a little bit of information.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's a bit of fun. I mean, this stuff can get you down. And it's right, actually. It is. It's part of the process, isn't it?
It is part of the programme.
And we do have good days and bad days, but less bad days now. Because we're busy doing good things.
Yeah.
Generators, growing food, finding friends, going and visiting other people, like-minded people.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time with people who want to waste your time.
No, that's...
Because if you're not giving and taking and getting something for it, you're not actually doing a very good trade. Don't let them steal your time. And don't let them steal you. Because... that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You sometimes try too hard with people who don't actually have your best interests at heart.
No, they're just not interested. Don't waste your time on people that are interested.
There is a big clue to the conversation, isn't it? And that is that they never follow on with what you've just said. Because all they're really waiting to do is for you to shut up so they can make their next point, please.
Yes.
That's really what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
And some people will have like, oh God, yeah, the world's full of psychopaths, and they're a psychopath, and they're a psychopath, and they're a... You're wasting your time. What are you doing? Make people like you. And don't waste your time with people who don't.
No.
Because, God almighty, good friends are hard to find, but enemies are bloody everywhere, aren't they?
They are,
You've got no problems making bloody enemies. They just turn up out bloody blue. They want to come and piss on your bloody bonfire because you're having too much of a good day.
Yeah.
I mean, in my little shop here, we've got some people you think, God almighty, what makes them happy? Open bloody graves. Let them have a bad day. Leave them alone. This isn't for everybody, is it?
No.
It's not for everybody.
We've found that, yeah.
It's for people who want it.
Yeah,
people who want to know are going to learn.
You've got to want
it,
haven't you?
They will learn themselves.
You've got to be thirsty.
Half a glass, that's all you give them.
Yeah,
They'll be back for the other half if they want it.
They want it, yeah.
But those that want to know are going to find this stuff out. And they're going to sit and ask you questions. And now you've got someone who wants to know.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to spend their bloody lives telling you how it works after 1 hour on YouTube. And the thing about this is that you watch something... You actually, my mobile phone has just started working again. Right, it's actually been broken for 4 days. All the bloody text messages are clocking through. Can you hear them?
Yeah.
Anyway, I apologise to everybody who knows me. I haven't replied to a text because they've been broken. But it looks like they're all clocking in now. But yeah, where was I? I've lost it again. I usually do. But yeah, just work on yourself.
On yourself.
If you can help somebody and they don't help you back.
Yes.
Be careful.
That's that.
Because it's makers and takers.
It is, we found
all right?
that, yeah.
It is makers and takers. Some people will take and take and take from you and pretend to be giving you stuff.
Yeah.
But what they give you can't use. But what they take from you, they usually end up using against you.
I'm going to say, yeah, they usually end up copy and pasting it.
Yeah, you try and help somebody, you say, now this is how it looks to me, and you give them a really good description, and then they go away, go on Google, find an alternative, come back and say, you're wrong. And then tell everybody else. Just because Google's given them the alternative. I mean, this Google will give you the answer to anything.
It will.
It'll give you any answer because it knows you.
Yes. The
thing about this system that I think we don't learn very well, it knows us better than we know ourselves.
It does. Stop putting the information in.
Yeah, I mean, we only have 70-odd summers to crack this. It's not long enough. So don't try and do it all. The system knows what you are because it made you who made you.
And it's updating. Your computer updates every day as soon as you switch it on. It's not updating the computer, it's updating their file system with everything you've put in it. That's what it's updating.
And the computer's trailing you.
It is, yeah.
The computer is the next version of you.
Yeah.
The television was the next version of you, and now because you've become a television, haven't we? We've become a television. Television. That's all we do all day. Tell stories.
Yeah.
Tall stories, short stories, long stories,
high stories.
But the thing about high stories, which is always the past. But the thing about these stories is, I want to tell you a story, but make it interesting and make it short. That's where we are, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Our first outing on Awake. Thanks to everybody on Blog Talk. We'll be here next week. We'll be simulcasting on both stations. Let's make some friends, not some enemies.
No.
Like-minded people, though. And if we don't reply to you, it's because we're not online.
Find out if people have read George Orwell's 1984, because it's up 69% on Amazon.
It's not 49, then it was 69.
No, it was 69. Never mind. We're only human.
I stand corrected. Most people who say they've read 1984, right, I don't think they have. Right, and most people who said they've read Brave New World, I don't think they have either. But what happens is, they've heard so much about it that they think they know. Until next week, I have an ending from a gentleman called Mr. Brian Gerrish. Now, if you want to tell me what Brian Gerrish is, please feel free to do so. Have you met him? Do you know him, do you? You really know this stuff. Because if you don't talk to me. Listen to the message. Because we live in the mess age. From Andy and myself,
good night.
Good night. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Okay, well, thanks for that. It's a pretty easy question to answer, really. If I go back, I did 21 years in the military. I now know that some of the things I believed in then, I was misguided, but I originally joined the military because I believed that I had a country and it was worth fighting for, and I did believe at the time that I was helping to defend my country. And then when I left the service and I started to discover what was really going on, the fraud and the corruption in Plymouth, and I tried to do something about it, and the next thing I got people threatening me and sending me death threats and all sorts of crap. I sat down with a couple of guys and we actually had a discussion about it, and we said, what are we going to do? Are we going to do something, or are we going to do nothing? And I can tell you that there was 8 guys around the table, and we said, we're going to do something. And from that day onwards I started to do something. I didn't really expect it to go in quite the direction it has, but I will tell you that everything that I have learned tells me if we don't fight, not only will there be nothing left in this country, but if you've got children and grandchildren, they are going to be wiped off the face of the earth. The people we're up against are of exactly the same mentality that got going in Stalinist Russia and in Nazi Germany, and they are going to murder our children, certainly, if they achieve the regime they want. And you've got the choice. You can do nothing. You might survive depending on your age, but they're going to have your children. And I decided, and I stick to my guns, I am going to fight, because otherwise my children have absolutely no future. And this is something else which, you know, in the beginning I did a couple of talks, and somebody in the audience sort of said to me, you know, what do these people want? And I said, what they want is to kill you. And you could hear a few people in the audience sucking their teeth. And somebody said to me afterwards, oh, I think you were a bit over the top there, you know, Brian, I don't think you should have really said that. To which I said, well, what were the people saying as they were being led off to the concentration camps? These people are taking people to war, they're engineering wars. We've got British politicians, Miliband, involved in the taking and torturing of people. If we do nothing, we might survive by living in a hole in the ground. Our children, they are going to dispatch them. And that's why I'm fighting. When you get in that sort of mentality and you see this thing for what it is, you know, do I fear for my safety? No, I don't, because I've just decided that basically, you know, not fighting is not an option. Do I try and fight clever? Absolutely, because you can go and do things which are bloody stupid, and you're going to find that you're going to be cornered. But, you know, people who are still sending round email circuits as though they can sit in their armchair and have a little whinge, the people in government are working at the moment on how to murder us. When you know, I'm sorry, this sounds a little bit big-headed, but when you know what I know about what they're really doing to the children, you know, you just say we've got to do something to stop this. I've had relations dying in very mysterious circumstances in hospitals where the hospital staff have then lied and covered up, and I've had tens of people calling me from other parts of the country telling me the same story. We're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 calls a week from mums off their heads because their children have been taken, and those children are being abused or psychologically tortured. It's an absolute cesspit, and we have got to do something about it. But it's no good people running around with bloody baseball bats. We've got to really start going for the few people in the positions of power who are dealing with this. But no, I absolutely don't wake up wondering why I do it. I know why I'm doing it. The times I get frustrated is when I think to myself, we haven't got all the assets or all the people to do what we need to do. If all of the activists out there, whatever parties they've been involved or organisations, if everybody would do something effective, we would be really starting to get to grips with this thing.